5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. The only thing we have to fear is fear.
Mile 18.
This is Endurance Nation.
Are you tired of just losing your fitness every year? Of getting out there on the open road come springtime and everyone else is still faster than you and you're not making progress? We understand. We created the Outseason program just for you. It's a 14-week protocol for triathletes and gravel cyclists with an opportunity to lock in through your Zwift workouts and focused training to unlock your potential by targeting functional threshold and high VO2 workouts with some endurance on the weekends. We build your fast before you're far. So by the time you get to the spring, you can turn down the fast and start adding some volume when the weather gets nice and unleash your endurance potential. Stop following the same program and hoping you get different results. Head over to endurancenation.us/outseason to get our 14-week program for one low price now.
Race day doesn't care how fit or ambitious you are. Sorry for the bad news, folks. No race can actually survive poor nutrition execution. And today, we're going to fix it. Hey there, Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation, back with another weekly episode. Every week, I sit down and share insights and information from endurance athletes across the world that we've garnered, collected, gathered, curated, and bring back to you since 2007. Most of the people who are racing in 2007 aren't even racing, right? But we are here inside Endurance Nation, and it's not just about the latest fad or the newest thing or the latest algorithm. It's all about taking those key lessons learned and giving you strategies, tools, and tactics that you can use to position yourself for success on race day. Today's topic, nutrition, specifically fueling like a machine, how to unlock your best performance. Now, full context, we work with iron distance triathletes predominantly. We also work with endurance cyclists like gravel racing, mountain bike racing, etc., and even some adventure racing. So if you're out there for the ultra distance, if you're out there going the distance, you know that nutrition is a huge part of your success. Now, what do people think about nutrition when they think about endurance athletes, right? Most people keep nutrition sort of on the fun side. There's sort of a barbell distribution of nutrition, right? There's the people who are like, I just train to eat and I eat to train and life is great. Like, give me the nachos, pass the beer, give me the shake, I'll do whatever you want. On the other side, we have people who are like super like fired up about nutrition, right? I don't eat until 12 o'clock every day. I only eat this type of carbs. I will make my own nutrition. I only eat at night like a vampire, or whatever it is, right? And those two people like are often bumping into each other on the race course. Couldn't be more opposite than one another, even though they've chosen the same distance. But there's a middle ground, folks. There's a place where you can actually be really deliberate and intentional about your nutrition, and you can be successful. And it starts with this proposition for you. So it's a proposition for you. You have to position your body as a high performance engine. You really got to think about your body as a high performance engine. All right. So we're going to lift up the hood. There's this, glistening, undercarriage here. Everything looks amazing, right? We can see the tubing and we get the batteries and, the vents and the fans, right? We just know that like the pistons are working to be amazing. It's just gorgeous to look at. That's what we want your insides to be. But your insides don't get like that and don't work like that if you're just putting garbage in. Okay. So if you're thinking about being a high performance machine, the first recognition we have to make is that when we are exercising, when we are working out, when we are performing or looking to perform at our best in training or in racing, we have to be putting fuel inside our body, right? Of course, yes, there's a window we can go through where we can perform at a high level, and then we start to face the consequences for not fueling properly. Most people get about an hour before things start to get a little sketchy, a little hairy for poor nutrition. Right? Now, that's fine in training. I mean, it's technically, I don't think it's fine at all, but most people will say it's fine. And the damage is pretty minimal. The damage that you don't notice is that what's happening is your body is just using up your stored glycogen. It's creating a deficit that's got to replace later. Now, it's got a certain amount of time to replace it. And for most of us, if we're eating healthy and we've got that amount of time to replace, you're totally fine. The problem comes in when we are actually trying to start to stack workouts. So we've got morning and afternoon workouts or afternoon and next morning workouts or back-to-back sessions. If we're not fueling properly, the consequence of that decision-making around poor nutrition actually, because not fueling yourself is a decision, my friends. That's a nutrition plan. It's the worst one there is, but it is a nutrition plan. That consequence starts to eat away at you over time. Right? Literally, no pun intended, where your performance starts to degrade. But like a boiled frog, you don't really know what's happening. And even when something comes up and you have faced with the facts that like maybe you're under fueling, it's hard to imagine, it's hard to choose fuel as an option simply because you feel like everything's been fine for so long. How could it be my nutrition? I've been fine for so long. And it's really hard. And generally speaking, when things go wrong, exercise-wise, you've got two options. And one of them is food, right? The other one is rest. But number one is food. Like eat something and see what happens. The worst thing that happened is you don't like it. I guess maybe the worst thing is you could throw it back up. But if not, like eat something and see what happens. Because 9 times out of 10, bad decision-making, bad pacing, bad emotional feeling, all of that comes from just being low calorie, right? Just being hangry, except you're racing. So you're like, Rangry, which is terrible. So nobody wants to be hangry. It sounds terrible, right? Don't do it. All right. So how do we deal with nutrition when we're thinking about being a high performance machine? Well, number one, we think about how we fuel our workouts. So we want to make sure that every workout has two components of fuel, the hydration side of your equation and the straight calorie side. Now, some people like to put calories in their hydration. If you're using a formula like a generic one like Gatorade Endurance, or if you've got your own custom one like our partners at Infinite, that's also fine either way. We don't want to get too high on the calorie scale versus the hydration, but fluid is a great way to deliver calories and to make sure that they absorb it to your gut. The reason why we do this in training, even if it's just an hour-long session on the bike or on the run, even if it's indoors or at your local gym, is that we're training our body to use the nutrition we're putting inside of it to actually perform. In fact, you'll see people out there now on social media actually like overeating before they work out to prepare their body to handle those calories. It's a thing, my friends. Like you get better at using calories the more you use those calories when you're training. Can't make it up. Like literally, if you never eat a particular food and then you try and eat it on race day, it's not going to work, right? We say nothing new on race day, and most people put that to like equipment or trying like a special routine or making a change to their strategy, or like, no, nothing new on race day. No way I would do that. But they'll go out on race day and eat a ton of calories, which they haven't eaten training. It's literally a new thing on race day, but everyone feels like it should do it, like it's normalized for race day, and they make bad decisions. So fuel every workout. What does that mean? Again, combination of carbohydrates delivered through liquid form and actually solid form. This process allows you to get really good at distributing those calories across an hour and also learning just generally what you can tolerate. While I don't eat my race-specific calories in every single workout, I am typically having 1 bike bottle of fluid per hour, and I'm having 1 gel or maybe the equivalent thereof. So definitely like race calories minus a gel perhaps, and minus half a bottle of fluids. But it's not that hot right now in the wintertime, my gosh, but I'm eating for every workout. That sets me up for success. Level 2 is we start saying, how do I eat for race-like conditions, right? So as we get closer to our race, we begin to eat to prepare ourselves to race. And so my 1 bottle and my gel per hour, not going to cut it when I'm doing a 4-hour ride in the context of a 12 or 15-hour week. I'm going to need more calories. So in this case, I have to start scheduling things out, right? I have to say, I'm going to have a bottle per hour. And I'm going to bring, 5 gels and 3 waffles with me because I'm going to have those at certain times. And basically during these race simulation or race-like workouts, I'm testing my nutrition, coming back from every workout, just trying to decide what works, what doesn't work. What do my numbers look like? How did I feel? My RPE? And what was I doing, eating and drinking? How much did I have left? How much did I start out with? What was my plan? And then what did I end up with? And we're reconciling this through our training and just getting better at tweaking the dials to say, you know what? Waffles sound great, but they're not great in hour 4 or 5. I need to go to something else, maybe to blocks or chews or something like that, right? Or my high calorie solution sounded great, but I can only drink it for 2 hours. And then the other bottles just tasted nasty, or I just couldn't absorb it anymore and I didn't want to drink it. And I was in trouble from a hydration perspective. All of this sort of experimentation here as we transition to race like. The third stage, here we are in race day, race performance. We've been filling every workout, learning what we do and do not like. We've been adding more in our volume as we get closer to race simulations, iterating, trial and error, just eliminating things that don't work, keeping the things that do, right? Super important part every year. And we get to race situation right now. And race situation is we have a plan. We've got a schedule. Some people set timers. They're making markers on the side of the bottle, like where do they want to be, where they're going. This precision is critical, A, to keep you on track, to free your brain up to handle other problems, but also so once you know what the plan is, then we can modify off of it, right? If I know that I'm supposed to do this by hour 3 and I know where I feel like, and I've actually had a little bit less food, I know the delta between where I am now and where I'm supposed to be. The plan itself is your marker for where you're meant to be nutritionally on the day. And again, that puts you in a position for making better decisions about your day. Of course, at some point we reach that stage, which we all glamorize, which is like me against the finish line and I'm going to push through and I'll eat and drink whatever, or not eat and drink whatever and just get there. Sure. But that's only like 2% of your race. You got to get through the other 98%. What does it look like? It looks like having a plan so you can follow it or adjust from it as well. All right. Those are the 3 levels of nutrition when we think about exercise. So what's the 4th one? What's the 4th wall? The fourth one is actually everyday nutrition. Now, this is something people go to right away. They're like, ooh, I need to improve my body composition. I need to just change everything how I eat every day. No, my friends, don't do that. Please don't make that mistake. Instead, we want you to focus on your exercise nutrition first, because if you ride 1 hour, you're having a certain number of calories. If you're riding 4 hours, then you're having 4 times that certain number of calories per hour, right? So in other words, even though you're a normal human being for 24 hours, if you're exercising for 1 hour, you get your 1 hour calories, the rest of your day is fine. If you're exercising for 4 hours in the middle of the day and you get your 4 hours worth of calories exercising, then the rest of your day is normal. That's right. If we solve your exercise nutrition, the rest of your day, of every day, is nutritionally normal. Like, I get it. You may be hungry. You need a protein shake, or maybe you want to have a bigger dinner or a bigger recovery meal, ideally in that first hour after that workout. Knock yourself out. But don't start changing stuff in your daily life without actually addressing your workout nutrition first, because we need a plan, and we need a plan in place to go forward. And ultimately, like I said, if you're doing it right, your workout nutrition system is dialed such that you don't have to change your daily program at all. You can eat your protein when you want to. You can space it out and have your carbohydrates when you like. If you are doing some kind of intermittent fasting thing, you can schedule your calories, accordingly around your workouts and what's happening for your schedule. All that's fine. And generally speaking, in those situations, we're looking for food that's clean and consistent. We don't need lots of flair, but we do need to make sure that you're having a well-balanced diet. Some people get crazy about restricting carbs or overloading on fats. Whatever your diet choice may be, the goal here for you in your general workout situation is to make sure that you have baseline calories coming into your body every day of a diverse set that allows you to be just at, or if you have body composition goals, maybe just below 100, 200 calories below per day, but you're still eating and drinking those exercise calories. Like, you will be restrictive a little bit if you're trying to lose weight in your daily calories, but not on those training calories. Like, training calories are always the best calories. They are the most consistent calories, most important ones. The other ones we can kind of dial away and make sure we're good. All right. So that's the 4-step process for dealing with your nutrition. I hope it makes sense. When we want to be successful inside Endurance Nation, we think a lot about nutrition and we think about excellence. And this is your way to go through it. Put yourself into the mind of a machine. Work slowly and incrementally. Iterate as you get better. Keep what you like. Get rid of what you don't. And every year we go through this process, and soon you'll be able to break through to that fourth wall, start making good decisions about your day-to-day nutrition. And my friend, by then you will be unstoppable. I'll see you next week in another episode. Until then, take care, everyone. Be well, be healthy, and make smart decisions.
Endurance Nation.
Hey, podcast fans. I know you love the podcast because here you are, you're listening to it, and you're still listening to me talk right now. Did you know you can get content just like this in your inbox once a month? We send out a great newsletter. We call it, guess what? The Unfair Advantage. That's right. It's our information to you, something that separates you from the competition. If they're not here, then they don't know. But if you are here, then now you do. Zero excuses. If you go check us out online at endurancenation.us/newsletter, it's your opportunity to enter your email address, sign up for these updates. They come once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on my race schedule. And it's your chance to get insider information that's going to help you become a better, smarter athlete. Don't miss out on this chance to get ahead of the competition. It doesn't cost you any money, and it's not a ton of work. It's just your email address. That's endurancenation.us/newsletter.
For more information about Endurance Nation, visit us online at endurancenation.us. The provided music is from the Podshow Podsafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com.